Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A list of names. His name was struck off the rolls. Move along on or as if on wheels or a wheeled vehicle. The president's convoy rolled past the crowds. Cause to move by turning over or in a circular manner of as if on an axis. She rolled the ball. Move by turning over or rotating. The child rolled down the hill. A deep prolonged sound, as of thunder or large bells. Small rounded bread, either plain or sweet. Show certain properties when being rolled. The carpet rolls unevenly. A roll of currency notes, often taken as the resources of a person or business, etc. He shot his roll on a bob-tailed nag. A long heavy sea wave as it advances towards the shore. Flatten or spread with a roller. Roll out the paper. The sound of a drum, especially a snare drum, beaten rapidly and continuously. Arrange or coil around. Roll your hair around your finger. The act of throwing dice. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. They rolled from town to town. Sell something to or obtain something from by energetic and especially underhanded activity. Boil vigorously. The water rolled. A round shape formed by a series of concentric circles, as formed by leaves or flower petals. The act of rolling something, as the ball in bowling. Move in a wavy pattern or with a rising and falling motion. The waves rolled towards the beach. A document that can be rolled up, as for storage. Rotary motion of an object around its own axis. Occur in soft rounded shapes. The hills rolled past. A flight maneuver. Aircraft rotates about its longitudinal axis without changing direction or losing altitude. Anything rolled up in cylindrical form. Begin operating or running. The cameras were rolling. Emit, produce, or utter with a deep prolonged reverberating sound. The thunder rolled. Execute a roll, in tumbling. The gymnasts rolled and jumped. Move, rock, or sway from side to side. The ship rolled on the heavy seas. Photographic film rolled up inside a container to protect it from light. Pronounce with a roll, of the phoneme, R. She rolls her R's. Shape by rolling. Roll a cigarette. Take the shape of a roll or cylinder. The carpet rolled out. Walking with a swaying gait. A list of names. Move along on or as if on wheels or a wheeled vehicle. An instrument of torture that stretches or disjoints or mutilates victims. Change directions as if revolving on a pivot. They wheeled their horses around and left. Ride a bicycle. Wheel somebody or something. A wheeled vehicle that has two wheels and is moved by foot pedals. Game equipment consisting of a wheel with slots that is used for gambling. The wheel rotates horizontally and players bet on which slot the roulette ball will stop in. A handwheel that is used for steering. A circular helm to control the rudder of a vessel. A simple machine consisting of a circular frame with spokes, or a solid disc, that can rotate on a shaft or axle, as in vehicles or other machines. Forces that provide energy and direction. The wheels of government began to turn. Cause to move by turning over or in a circular manner of as if on an axis. Turn on or around an axis or a center. The Earth revolves around the Sun. Move in an orbit. Cause to move around a center so as to show another side of. Turn up, loosen, or remove earth. Turn over the soil for aeration. Move by turning over or rotating. Turn over on your left side. Think about carefully, weigh. Place into the hands or custody of. Turn from an upright or normal position. Cause to overturn from an upright or normal position. Turn upside down, or throw so as to reverse. Turn over the pancakes. Do business worth a certain amount of money. A deep prolonged sound, as of thunder or large bells. Sound loudly and sonorously. Ring recurrently. Bells were pealing. A deep prolonged sound, as of thunder or large bells. A deep prolonged sound, as of thunder or large bells. Propelling something on wheels. Uttered with a trill. She used rolling R's as in Spanish. The act of robbing a helpless person. He was charged with rolling drunks in the park. Small rounded bread, either plain or sweet. Show certain properties when being rolled. Form a cylinder by rolling. Roll up a banner. Get or gather together. Form into a cylinder by rolling. Make into a bundle. Arrive in a vehicle. Close a car window, by causing it to move up, as with a handle. A roll of currency notes, often taken as the resources of a person or business, etc. Provide with sufficient funds, finance. Who will bankroll the restoration of the former East German economy? A long heavy sea wave as it advances towards the shore. A mechanical device consisting of a cylindrical tube around which the hair is wound to curl it. Pigeon that executes backward somersaults in flight or on the ground. A cylinder that revolves. A grounder that rolls along the infield. A small wheel without spokes, as on a roller skate. Old world bird that tumbles or rolls in flight, related to kingfishers. A long heavy sea wave as it advances towards the shore. Flatten or spread with a roller. Roll out the paper. Straighten by unrolling. Roll out the big map. The sound of a drum, especially a snare drum, beaten rapidly and continuously. The sound of a drum, especially a snare drum, beaten rapidly and continuously. Spin, wind, or twist together. Intertwine the ribbons. Form into a spiral shape. Arrange or coil around. A lightweight cord. Make by twisting together or intertwining. Twine a rope. Raise or haul up with or as if with mechanical help. Catch the scent of. Get wind of. A reflex that expels intestinal gas through the anus. Form into a wreath. Empty rhetoric or insincere or exaggerated talk. That's a lot of wind. Arrange or coil around. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. The river winds through the hills. Extend in curves and turns. The road winds around the lake. The act of winding or twisting. He put the key in the old clock and gave it a good wind. A musical instrument in which the sound is produced by an enclosed column of air that is moved by bellows or the human breath. Air moving, sometimes with considerable force, from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. Trees bent under the fierce winds. Coil the spring of some mechanical device by turning a stem. Wind your watch. An indication of potential opportunity. A tendency or force that influences events. The winds of change. Breath. The collision knocked the wind out of him. Arrange or fold as a cover or protection. Wrap the baby before taking her out. Arrange or coil around. She wrapped her arms around the child. The covering, usually paper or cellophane, in which something is wrapped. Enclose or enfold completely with or as if with a covering. Cloak that is folded or wrapped around a person. A sandwich in which the filling is rolled up in a soft tortilla. Crash into so as to coil around. The teenager wrapped his car around the fire hydrant. The act of throwing a fishing line out over the water by means of a rod and reel. The visual appearance of something or someone. The delicate cast of his features. Formulate in a particular style or language. She cast her request in very polite language. The actors in a play. A violent throw. Container into which liquid is poured to create a given shape when it hardens. The act of throwing dice. Form by pouring, e.g., wax or hot metal, into a cast or mold. Cast a bronze sculpture. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Put or send forth. Cast a spell. Get rid of. Object formed by a mold. Bandage consisting of a firm covering, often made of plaster of Paris, that immobilizes broken bones while they heal. Throw forcefully. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. Pottery of this cast was found throughout the region. Eject the contents of the stomach through the mouth. Choose at random. Cast lots. Assign the roles of a movie or a play to actors. Who cast this beautiful movie? Deposit. Cast a vote. Select to play, sing, or dance a part in a play, movie, musical, opera, or ballet. He cast a young woman in the role of Desdemona. Live unhurriedly, irresponsibly, or freely. My son drifted around for years in California before going to law school. The pervading meaning or tenor. caught the general drift of the conversation. Be in motion due to some air or water current. The boat drifted on the lake. A force that moves something along. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. The laborers drift from one town to the next. Wander from a direct course or at random. Don't drift from the set course. A horizontal, or nearly horizontal, passageway in a mine. They dug a drift parallel with the vein. A large mass of material that is heaped up by the wind or by water currents. A process of linguistic change over a period of time. Be piled up in banks or heaps by the force of wind or a current. Snow drifting several feet high. Be subject to fluctuation. The stock market drifted upward. Cause to be carried by a current. Drift the boats downstream. Drive slowly and far afield for grazing. Drift the cattle herds westwards. Move in an unhurried fashion. The unknown young man drifted among the invited guests. The gradual departure from an intended course due to external influences, as a ship or plane. Vary or move from a fixed point or course. Stock prices are drifting higher. An aimless amble on a winding course. Continue talking or writing in a desultory manner. This novel rambles on and jogs. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Assign a rank or rating to. Range or extend over. Occupy a certain area. The limit of capability. The limits within which something can be effective. Range of motion. An area in which something acts or operates or has power or control. The range of a supersonic jet. A series of hills or mountains. The valley was between two ranges of hills. Feed as in a meadow or pasture. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Change or be different within limits. Estimates for the losses in the earthquake range as high as $2 billion. Mathematics. The set of values of the dependent variable for which a function is defined. A kitchen appliance used for cooking food. Lay out orderly or logically in a line or as if in a line. A large tract of grassy open land on which livestock can graze. They used to drive the cattle across the open range every spring. A place for shooting, firing or driving projectiles of various kinds. The army maintains a missile range in the desert. A variety of different things or activities. He answered a range of questions. Have a range. Be capable of projecting over a certain distance, as of a gun. This gun ranges over 2 miles. Let eat. Range the animals in the prairie. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. The gypsies roamed the woods. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Wander from a direct course or at random. The child strayed from the path and her parents lost sight of her. not close together in time. A few stray crumbs. Lose clarity or turn aside, especially from the main subject of attention or course of argument in writing, thinking, or speaking. An animal that has strayed, especially a domestic animal. Of an animal, having no home or having wandered away from home. A stray calf. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. To declare or affirm solemnly and formally as true. Stately heavy-bodied aquatic bird with very long neck and usually white plumage as adult. Sweep majestically. Airplanes were swanning over the mountains. A commercial steamer for hire, one having no regular schedule. A person who engages freely in promiscuous sex. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. A vagrant. A homeless tramp. A long walk, usually for exercise or pleasure. A foot traveler. Someone who goes on an extended walk, for pleasure. Walk heavily and firmly, as when weary, or through mud. A heavy footfall. The tramp of military boots. Cross on foot. We had to tramp the creeks. Travel on foot, especially on a walking expedition. We went tramping about the state of Colorado. Wandering aimlessly without ties to a place or community. Led a vagabond life. A wanderer who has no established residence or visible means of support. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Roving vagabonds. Continually changing, especially as from one abode or occupation to another. Anything that resembles a vagabond in having no fixed place. Pirate ships were vagabonds of the sea. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. The wandering Jew. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Sometimes, the gout wanders through the entire body. Be sexually unfaithful to one's partner in marriage. Might her husband be wandering? Lose clarity or turn aside, especially from the main subject of attention or course of argument in writing, thinking, or speaking. Her mind wanders. Go via an indirect route or at no set pace. After dinner, we wandered into town. A rapid active commotion. Sell something to or obtain something from by energetic and especially underhanded activity. A swindle in which you cheat at gambling or persuade a person to buy worthless property. Move or cause to move energetically or busily. Cause to move furtively and hurriedly. The Secret Service agents hustled the speaker out of the amphitheater. Get by trying hard. She hustled a free lunch from the waiter. Pressure or urge someone into an action.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.